like we were saying, we have done a lot of artist discovery. Now, this is where I put my cojones on the table and I say, this podcast, we are also an artist.
Those off the table, bro.
No, they are squarely.
Those don't belong on the table.
On the table. They are on the table right now, Sam. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up and welcome to episode 50 of the 30% podcast, hosted by yours truly, Afam, and my amazing co-host,
truly.
Sam.
Yo.
Go party. It's your birthday. You wanna party like it's your birthday.
You wanna party like it's your birthday.
Oh, that sounds
wrong with this
That sounds
guy?
wrong. You wanna sip party like it's it's a birthday. Find me in the club.
Are you partying in the club?
Bro,
Afam, you're partying in the club.
I'm partying in the club. We partying in the club.
Imagine going to a club to pod.
Hey, bro. You say you're a podster,
man.
but you never pod nothing. You say you're a podster, but you never.
Oh, I don't know what you heard about me.
Hey, but you can't get controversy out of me. Hey.
Oh man, they're pod puns. 50-cent pod puns.
Hey.
50 episodes, bro. 50 big
episodes.
ones. Did you ever think you'd
Sam,
be
we've been
here?
doing this for half a century.
Did you ever think that you'd be here when we started this? You know, I was
Honestly,
Sam,
I did not.
I was checking the stats.
Bro, we have... Yeah.
Sorry, I was checking the stats and 1%, 99% of all podcasts started, or I don't know how true this is, obviously. I feel like they're embellishing. But 99% of all podcasts don't go past the 10th episode.
Damn, so podcasts are like startup companies. Yeah. Damn, I didn't even know.
Podcasts are the new startup companies, yes. Sorry, what were you saying?
Yo, but Sam, actually, you know, like speaking of that, we've actually podcasted this whole year without missing a single week up till now.
Clap it up to us.
Like, bro,
Lord
the
knows it wasn't
consistency.
easy.
Oh, Lord knows it wasn't
Lord
easy,
knows
but
we've been
we're
through
here,
it.
man. Oh, bro, we've had podcasts that have... Let me tell you, I mean, so, bro, we're talking about the podcast for this episode 50.
Yeah.
We've had podcasts which we recorded and then the audio was messed up, so we had to record
Could you guys tell?
At odd hours.
At odd hours.
We had to
craziness.
redo podcasts and have the same enthusiasm as we had
That's one of the worst things in the world, honestly. When you've gone and you've had such a fire conversation and everything has flowed properly, and then you go and listen back and bro was recording the room instead of my voice, and it's just
oh man.
And then you look stupid. I honestly, when it happened to me, I looked stupid. I was like, Afam is probably going to think, how many years of I've been engineering
like
since 2008, and how am I still making
But it happens, man. It happened to me. I feel like early in the podcast, I messed up the audio for one.
Yeah.
One of my audios was messed up and we had to re-record.
Yeah, I think it was a space issue or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, space. Space is another thing, man. When you start a podcast, nobody tells you this, but you need to buy a hard drive, like a new one.
Yeah.
Like you just need to have space. Like I was recording and then, space ended and then I didn't even know. And so it was not
enough
recording.
of that, Afam. That's enough of that.
But yeah.
Oh, man, that's crazy, though. 50,
guys,
50, 50.
Today, we want to kind of have like a nostalgic episode where we sometimes it's good to look back and kind of appreciate like your journey. You know what I mean? If you don't do it, who will? You know what I mean? So, Yeah. So what better than us?
Yeah.
Who's better than us? Than to just kind of look back
to review our own podcast
and kind of talk about like the inception of the podcast. Because also, like I'm sure a lot of the people who are listening now wouldn't have been the same people who listened to episode 1 through 5. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is also interesting for, I hope, like for them. Sam, don't look at me like that. To kind of understand like the thinking behind this podcast. So yeah, interestingly enough, this podcast, the first episode I want to say came out like...
Oh man, so before you go on, you know what's stuck in my head? I don't know what you've heard about me, but you can't get a poddy out of me.
Yeah, you can't get a...
My brain is replaying that.
You can't get a poddy out of me.
Can't get a poddy out of me.
So I don't even remember when we recorded the first podcast, but I have a feeling it came out on the 4th of January.
Pull up
which was the first.
Pull up all the stats.
I'm pulling up the calendar, man. Came out on the 4th of January. But I feel like when we recorded it, it was like the first day of the year or something crazy like that.
Dang, I don't even want to go back to that first episode, man.
Oh, so cringy. If you guys go back to the first episode, you will hear the difference.
Please go back if you want to cringe, bro. This is two people trying
our energy levels, everything was just like...
But I mean, it's expected. Like when you do something new the first time, you're like at the basicest of all basic levels. You really learn by experience, don't you?
You do. And then I was thinking about... remember, I made a video on my Instagram and I was like, yo, guys, so my friend Sam and I want to do like a podcast, and we're not saying we're not saying that we are like the professionals or like, what was the word I used? Or we're not like the guys who know everything, but we just want to kind of, like, I don't know why I was so...
over-explaining.
I was so... Yeah, I was so scared of like being PC even before the podcast
started. Look at you. Look. I should have seen that coming.
Yeah, man. I was kind of like preempting. I don't even know what I was preempting, but yeah. So Sam and I, we used to work together in the same studio, and yeah, we had this producer friendship, and we were like, yo, wouldn't it be cool if we talked about the music industry?
Yeah,
and you know what, we
already had those conversations like separately, and especially talking about music and doing music reviews and stuff. So it's like, okay, no one is really doing that, so let's bring that to the pod world, the podiverse.
The podiverse.
This episode is going to be full of pod puns, man. Pod puns.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
This is the pod pun episode. Yeah. But yeah, man. We were having these conversations for sure, and then we're just like, yo, let's just do it, and we did, and we've done it every week for 2023. Like, and that's crazy to me. And I feel like if you guys want to start something of your own, like, just start it and don't think too much about it.
Yeah, start it and if you have the initial, make sure your idea is a solid idea, because that's important. If you can start something and just keep going at it, and if the idea is trash, the whole thing is going to be trash. So make sure your idea is a solid idea, then just learn as you go. Like if you go back to the first episode, it was just all over the place, not as curated or produced.
We weren't even playing,
and we're still learning, obviously.
We weren't even playing music at the end of the podcast at that time. Like as you, so I think the lesson here is when you start something new, like it's never gonna be what it is on its final product.
It's not going to be 100% 5 stars. At the start,
and even
you
then,
have to build
Sam,
your way up.
I feel like our podcast is still evolving, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so it's not like it's not like
this is not our final form.
Oh yeah. This is what do you call Pokemons, like when before they've evolved?
I've never watched Pokemon.
Oh man,
never.
Sam is uncultured, man.
What do you mean I'm uncultured?
Yeah.
You're talking about Pokemon, then when I ask you about a Sauti Sol song, you're just staring at me, talking about I'm uncultured.
Wow.
Look, who's uncultured? Yes, we're going there.
We're going there
because you're not just going there.
Anyway.
I don't go to say I'm uncultured and you have no idea who Kenyan top musicians are.
I listen. Well, okay. Listen. I listen to Kenyan music. It's just Sauti Sol isn't my thing.
Okay.
And that is well documented.
Not your cup of tea.
That's what I've literally mentioned it here time and time again.
That does not excuse you from being uncultured, sir.
So I have...
I'm not going to excuse you.
Anyway, I've really improved though. And that's a thing that we can talk. We can talk about, like, we can start there. Music. Like, we started this podcast because we wanted to highlight Kenyan music. And in the Kenyan music industry. Yeah, and one positive thing that has come out of us doing this podcast is I listen to way more Kenyan music than I did prior to us doing the podcast. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. And it's dope. I mean, I think for me, I still used to, I would wake up and go to new music, then like on a Friday, wake up and go to the songs released. Yeah. But then now there's more of a deliberate effort because then I'd listen to like one or two, and then if I'm just not feeling it for the week, so I'd like skip and bypass.
For me, it was like I listened more to like the niche people I used to listen to. So like SoundCloud people like Mr. Luz and all those guys. But I didn't really put a lot of time into listening to like more mainstream stuff. Like I wasn't out here listening to the mainstream music like that. And so that's something I'm really grateful for the pod for. The Podiverse has really, really helped me.
The Podiverse. Yeah. And generally paying more attention to the music too. Like it's not just listening to it. It's paying attention to producers and
exactly
labels and stuff like that. And people don't usually do that. Guys just want to listen to songs.
Yeah. And so that's one good thing that's come out of us doing this podcast. And I hope that by us highlighting the new music of the week, it has also translated the same way for you guys as well.
Yeah.
And bro, speaking of music, like we've also really uncovered some real gems throughout the year.
Big gems. Wait, should we go back? No, before we go that.
Okay.
I actually want before we go to that.
Yeah.
I want to find out what favorite moments. Do you have like a favorite? I know we're just at 50. It's not like we're at like 1,000 episodes.
No, but we have to celebrate. We have to celebrate
but
ourselves.
It's still fine. Yeah. Your favorite... Should we do favorite moment or favorite episode first? Favorite moment. Let's go favorite moment.
Favorite moment. Oh, man. Okay, do you want to start?
Should I start? I could start. Favorite moment. I would think favorite moment was... Honestly, I think it's, and maybe it could change later on, just because it's new. I think it would be being invited out to Kinoti's show.
Oh, yeah. Sam, I hate you so much. I hate you so much because that's what I was going to say. I was thinking of that right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me see the angle in which
show. I don't think I would have been invited to that if we didn't have a podcast, honestly. So start a podcast if you want to go for shows. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Or do it. I don't know. Anyway, so that was really cool. I guess a second favorite would be just meeting all the people we've met, and not on some PC or friendship, but then I think we've really met some good people and had good conversations with them.
For sure.
So again, naturally, I am an introvert. But more than that, I think I'm very reserved and kept to myself. So like sometimes the podcast has forced me to go out and have conversations and talk to people and all that stuff, which is great. I don't like regret any of it.
Yeah.
So that's those two are kind of up there.
I wanna steal your answer. For me also, one of my favorite moments was definitely going to Little Messages listening party for Kinoti. And it was meeting Matilda, and just like, bruh, like she was like, yo, I listened to your podcast, and she invited us over, and it was crazy. Like, it's just like knowing that, like, people outside
taking
like
time out of
actually
their day
listen
to hear you talk.
To
that's
the
just
podcast.
The wildest concept to me, honestly. But I do it to other podcasts, so it shouldn't be so wild, right?
Exactly. But that, for me, that was a realization that, bruh, like, as much as I'm here just speaking into a microphone, like, it's actually, like, going somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
like,
it
and
does,
that's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's a surreal feeling, man. So for me, I would say that's one favorite moment. Another favorite moment is just the networking. I'm just stealing your answers essentially. The networking that has come out of this, like one example is Sam and I. Oh, there was a friend of mine, a producer friend of mine was like, yo, by the way, I have a friend, Suki, and she was telling me she listens to your podcast. And I was like, oh, for real? And she was like, yeah, she even mentioned you. Yeah, shout out to Suki. And she was like, she even shouted you out on their podcast. And I was like, what? So I listened to their podcast and they actually shouted us out. And that started like a really dope friendship because we met at the first time we all met like as a group with Suki, Hafari, yourself, and myself was at the R&B event for Zinnia.
Yeah. That was before we went over to their spot.
That was before we went over to the spot. And that's the first time we met. And then it was dope. It was like pod love. You know what I mean? Like just the cross-poddination.
Oh, my ears are burning. Oh no. The moment you said cross, I was like, oh man, here he goes. But that's cool. That's the Breaking Hearts podcast with Suki and Afari. It's very cool.
And it was dope,
audio offering.
Yeah, and then obviously, you know, they invited us over to their podcast, which, by the way, you can still find. If you guys want to see a video representation of Sam and I, it's out there.
Yeah. And how cool, calm and collected we were underneath the lights and the cameras. It was cool though.
Good times. We've actually really done stuff, Sam.
They set the mood right. They're very welcoming, very warm. Maybe those were just the lights, but it was very warm in there. Shout out to them. Man.
No, it was, and that was a good time.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's just like other networking opportunities as well, like us with Kipepeo. You know, that whole relationship, really dope. You know, we've been to 2 listening parties courtesy of Kipepeo for Groovy Joe, as well as for Udulele.
Yeah.
Like, and those were 2 very different events because Groovy Joe and Udulele make very different music.
Exactly. So they bring out different people.
It was just
business. It's a different vibe.
And that was dope. And the interviews that came out of that.
Oh, the interviews Alpha, too. Yeah, and the information gained from those, like, it's really cool. It's really cool talking to other people in the space, especially the people the people behind the scenes. We're so used, and again, that's part of our goal in starting the podcast is highlighting and just highlighting some of the people behind the scenes that make the music work, because we go online and we look at artist A released this song and we're like, okay, that's what it is. But then behind that, there's producers, there's engineers, there's the manager, there's so many things that go into it. And I think it's important to highlight that just because those people, they deserve love too.
They do. And speaking of those kind of people, Philo, our first ever interview.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Philo. That... I mean, you guys might not have the access to our back end, which we will, anyway.
But the episode did really well. Just to put it kindly. Can you put things kindly? Is that the phrase?
Just to put it nicely. Yeah. I mean, that episode with Philo was a really successful one for us.
Yeah.
And one because I learned so much. I still, to this day, think about how he just started distributing Brooklyn Boys' music just because he thought it was dope.
Yep.
Like, who does that, Sam? It's still so mind-boggling to me. And right now, you look at where Philo is. Even today, he's like organizing an event, the Newcomer event at Alchemist. And you look at Philo's growth and it's like, bro, he just decided, I'm going to do this. And he did.
Yeah. And those are the future players. Those are the future players in the industry. Like, and the guys are really young, hustling like on the ground now. And a lot of times we don't see that. We only see it 5 years later, 10 years later when they've worked themselves up to the top. Yeah. But it's really cool right now to highlight those people. And it's cool,
so the interviews, man, that's a big one, and shout out to everyone we've interviewed,
and to
Alpha,
those we will be interviewing
Philo,
soon
in the future. Maya, Shout out to Maya. And then obviously, bro, can't forget Antonio Soul. Very, very...
Yeah.
That was an interesting one for me as well because
Yeah.
he's just very out there and very outspoken.
He's a character.
And
Go back and check out the interviews. There's also just very useful information about, I guess,
Ethan Muziki
people's
and Kinoti
experience.
as well.
Yeah, people's experience within the industry, and also it's different things that we focused on in different episodes. It's not the same. Hi, what's your favorite song? How do you create? You know, it's like just trying to go in depth and find out what makes artists tick. And if they're aware of it, because some artists are not really, so it's good to question that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, so I guess those would be my favorite moments.
Yeah.
Have we had any real challenges? Like we mentioned earlier, you know, the having to re-record podcast episodes,
the technical
not having content,
difficulties.
Not having stuff to talk about, Sam.
Hey, yo.
Can you tell the people how having stuff to talk about is difficult?
This is a thing. This is a thing. Unless, and it's literally, I don't know if we should say this. If not, I don't know if we should say this, but I'll say it anyways. It's literally just me and Afam. Because when we started this, we were like, let's see how much we can get done. And then as we grow and as we get a team and everything, that we can grow in that way and expand. Doing everything is crazy. One of the most difficult thing is when the Kenyan industry is pretty small, but I don't blame it on the Kenyan industry. I think sometimes there's highs and lows, and it's just a very slow news week, and not much has happened, and not many people have released music, but we still have to present a show and
say some stuff that's compelling.
Oh man, podcasting is not easy, man. People just want to sit down in front of a mic and talk. It's a lot more than just sitting in front of a mic and talk. Like you have to.
I'm not gonna lie. There's some podcasts where we've just been, our backs have been against the wall, man. You know, finding
we will not tell you
stuff
which one
to talk
those
about.
Are. No way. Not expose ourselves
but like
that.
bruh.
But it happens. I think
coming
it happens.
up with
It happens there, and it happens with in other forms of creativity too. There's times where you'll go to the studio and it's just nothing. I'm sorry, not much is happening.
That's another thing. That's another thing. Sometimes you have to pod through sometimes you just genuinely don't feel like podcasting. You know, you have days where you don't really feel like talking much, but you have a podcast.
Yeah, you want to be by yourself.
So you have to like push through it. That's another challenge because sometimes the vibes are, peak. Sam and I are in the best of moods. We are both just, the banter is
and then there's other times it's like, I don't know if I want to talk to this dude.
Yeah, the other times it's like, hey man, it's a challenge.
But I think that's the good thing about having a friendship before is because then you can talk about these things. Like you can mention, we've had lighthearted conversations, we've had difficult conversations, and
definitely
it's all part of the journey.
Sam, these guys don't know we've had difficult conversations. I'm not gonna say who. No. I'm not gonna say who, but tears have been shed in this conversation.
Why are you doing that? There's only two of us, man.
Yeah, so they have to guess. They'll never know.
Oh man, they have to guess. They'll get it right half the time. Oh boy. But yeah,
they have a 50%
there's
success
been
rate.
difficult conversations that have been had, but it's all part of it. Like it's all part of it. And it's part of building something when you're not necessarily just sitting here trying to talk. Like if you're trying to build whatever it is you're trying to build, there's definitely, and people are involved because people are different and their experiences and their both past and present experiences are different from yours. So you're definitely going to have to figure out how to navigate that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and also, I mean, in this moment in which we are essentially just giving ourselves flowers, I also want to say thank you to
that's crazy.
The guys who, saw this podcast and for what it was and were very inviting, and accepting of us, as well as offering us like this inviting us to their spaces and wanting to network with us. I'm talking about the likes of Kipepeo, I already mentioned them. The likes of Startup Grind. We went to the Startup Grind event, and that was just off of them seeing our content and inviting us to listen their talk about
that's
podcasting
really cool.
and all that.
It's super cool, man. Because I don't think I'll be able to get those on my own.
That's pretty cool. I know, man. And then obviously, the whole thing with Kinoti and Ethan Muziki and their team, just having us there and bruh, fucking with the boys, man. What else have we gone to as a result of the Oh, I'm even forgetting. The fireside chat with Fena Gitu.
Okay, back then. Wow, that seems like eons ago now.
I know, Sam, we've actually done some really we've actually been outside a little
it's November. Oh man, we've been podcasting the whole year. Of course, there's things I'm going to forget.
For two introverts like us, this has been a pretty adventurous.
It's a lot of being outside.
I know.
Oh, being outside twice in a row, Saturday and Friday. I mean, Friday and Saturday.
Oh yeah, that was an anomaly. That was an anomaly that never happens.
That's stretching it now. That's stretching it.
Yeah, no, that was stretching it. But bro, Sam, we've been out here, and like I said, I just want to say thank you to all these people who have
Thanks for supporting.
been part of our journey and have essentially just embraced us. So yeah, bruh, 50. Sam, where do we think we are taking this podcast?
Hopefully to 51. In my head, I thought that was funny.
And then after 51?
I thought that was funny until it came out. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's terrible.
That gives me an idea. Oh, anyway, that you guys will hear. You'll
okay,
find
his
out
brain is working. The monkey is clapping in there with the cymbals.
My brain is working. It's clapping. Exactly. Yeah.
Where are we taking
but
this
Sam,
thing?
after episode 51.
I mean, where are we taking this thing, Afam? Obviously growing, and then just in connections with more people, because there's a lot of people behind the scenes that would just like to highlight a lot of stories that haven't been told, and things that haven't been covered. I think again, there's a tendency to cover the celebrity of music, and the people behind who are doing the work don't do it. So hopefully more of these conversations, more power players. I don't know if that's... We're all important in the music industry.
More power players for sure. Yeah, wink, wink.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, everyone is important, and that's not to minimize the role of anyone. I think who is in the industry has a big responsibility on them. But then there's also the people who we recognize as the movers and the shakers. Oh, gosh.
Oh, so Sam is essentially saying that there's some people who are more important than others.
Who am I?
Sam, did you hear what I said?
What did you say?
That you're saying essentially that there are some people who are more important than others.
No, I mean, if you started producing in your bedroom compared to the... I know you're making a joke, but I'm going to over-explain it so that you can stop making those jokes. But that's true. It's true. There's people who we recognize as the movers and the shakers. And they also have stories that are untold and ideas and all that business, and I think it's important to highlight those. So hopefully bring those conversations to you, to your earlobes.
And documentation is so key, man. Because a lot of these people, nobody ever thinks to interview the A&R
manager
who puts together so and so, you know what I mean? And those stories just go untold. And so it's important for there to be a record of Philo, of Maya, of Alfayo,
at this
talking
stage.
About man. And this is stuff that you'll go back to 10 years from now and be like, yo, so that's how, when Maya is super successful, right? Mm-hmm. At her doing her thing, her label and everything and her agency. And then you're like, how did Maya start? You go here, you listen to the inception of all her ideas and everything. So it's amazing to have a platform where we're documenting all this people and all these dope things that they're doing.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam. Before we go, shout out to Alfayo too. I think his episode was really cool also, because I think that was one of the most relaxed ones we had, where we're just kicking it and talking. Yeah, just to highlight that.
Shout out to Alfayo.
That was cool.
For me, where do I think we're taking this podcast? We're taking it to the moon.
Oh boy, I could have told you that before you even started.
To the moon. Listen, we are going out astronomical. Anyway, I think we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. Obviously there are specific facets of this podcast that still need a lot of growth. For example, we don't really have any video representation. That's obviously something that we have thought about in depth, and we are still thinking about.
I was thinking about that this week. It's so ironic how people started podcasts to talk, and now majority of podcasts rely on video for growth, and it's just like, what's the point? That defeats the whole point of video podcasting.
Of a podcast.
Yeah, like why did video take over so suddenly? Like it's so annoying.
Well, the game is the game. The game is the game, and
is the game.
Yeah, the game is the game. And I feel like that's one thing that we're gonna move into, and it's gonna be an interesting period of growth for us.
Yeah.
There's that, just doing more interviews and
covering more topics,
talking to
different people, bringing other forms of the show, like we were talking about before we started. Different forms of the show, so it's not just clicking on a play button every week. I think there's more that can be offered in the space. So we're thinking about it.
I like it. Let's keep it vague like that. Let's keep it vague. I like the way you've kept it vague. Right. Let's keep the people on their toes, because exactly what Sam said.
Who is on their toes?
We need.
Did you say
the people?
They're on their toes. Okay.
100%. You don't think they're on their toes, Sam?
The tippy toes.
Yeah.
The tippy toe podders.
But yeah, man. Listen, guys. 50 episodes. You guys have rocked with the 30% pod boys. We really, really do appreciate you guys for always listening to us. And we look at even the numbers, and not to say that numbers is the everything. End all be all of everything, but there's a steadily progression of growth that we can see, and that's just really it's just really crazy and surreal, and we really, really appreciate that. And so I just want to have this time to really say thank you, because we wouldn't be able to do, or we wouldn't even be motivated to every week record, and sometimes even twice a week record a podcast.
I'm saying we wouldn't be motivated to do it if no one was listening. So
we wouldn't. Yeah, and that's just the truth.
And it would defeat the purpose.
Shout out.
It's like talking to
shout out to you. It would defeat the purpose. Yeah, and so shout out to you guys, because us reaching 50 episodes is a win for you as much as it is for us. So now, Sam.
Yes.
Unless there's something else we want to address about us getting to 50. Is there anything else?
No. Maybe. Not now.
There's no other interesting moment, any tidbits you want to give the fans that that nobody really
I don't know.
knows.
I don't want to just manufacture something out. I'll have to think about it, but no, not necessarily. Do you have one? Is this a leading question? Am I missing a cue here? Am I? Am I supposed to throw that question back to you? What about you, Afam? Is there something else you want to tell the people who are listening that was so trash?
No. Oh, yes. Let's seamlessly transition.
Yeah.
Although it's not as seamless if I bring it up being seamless. Anyway, like we were saying, we have done a lot of artist discovery. Now, this is where I put my corners on the table and I say, this podcast, we are also an artist.
Those off the table, bro.
No, they are squarely.
Those don't belong on the table.
On the table. They are on the table right now, Sam. Anyway.
Yeah.
This podcast has also been created as a discovery platform for music, because we've discovered a lot of because we try and play music from not the obvious artists. We try and highlight upcoming artists and stuff. Names that stand out to me, Sam. Iken is one name that we've played, and I've just been like, bro, this kid is something else and is something for the future. Right, Idaziz, Sam. Although Idaziz is already kind of
it's almost established-ish, solidified. But still, but his run is ridiculous. But bro, right now. It's crazy.
Idaziz, I think he might be the first person we even played on the podcast.
Yeah, he was Bonani Mimi. I think it was.
Bonani
Hivi. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Mapenzi Baby, Nafasi. I mean, sadly, she took that song down from streaming, but. What an amazing find that was. We played Watenda Willie. You all know Watenda Willie. Zeji. Zeji the Fundi, man. Like Zeji's his creativity and everything, man, is just off the charts. And a bunch of other people, you know, Zoe Kengocha, we played relatively, you know, early on.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Sam, we're actually putting people on to like,
New
listen,
music and
when all
artists.
when all is said and done, Sam, we can't say we were ahead of the curve. We weren't ahead of the curve because we were. Who have we played on this podcast? Twice. Sophia Nzao, who's trending
currently,
like on everywhere. Like Sam,
if you guys don't know why Afam is so excited, it's because his head A&R is like A&R for the world. So he really thrives. He thrives. Afam is A&R for the world. He thrives on discovering artists before they are known. Like that's an A&R's bread and butter.
It is, bro. Sophia Nzao is blowing up. Do you know how I know she's blowing up? My mom sent me a video.
What does your mom know about Sophia Nzao? Shout out to Afam's mom.
That's what I'm saying. Of the song that came out recently. Your mom is
tapped. Her ear is to the streets. Your mom is tapped in.
Well, I wouldn't say it's to the streets, but like honestly,
why are you taking away
like,
street cred from your mom, bro? That's disrespect.
So okay, fine. My mom is to the streets, but so she ends up. Oh no, that sounded bad. That did not sound great at all. Whoa! I don't know why Sam is putting this pressure on me.
Sorry.
Anyway,
content.
So my mom sends me this video, and it's a song called Mwaki, and it's produced by Zerb. And I listened to and she's like, Afam, I think you'd really like this. This has been circulating in some of the groups I'm in. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me listen. And then I listened to the song and I'm like, I know those vocals. I was like, that's Sophia Nzao. Yeah. And I told my mom, no, I already know who she is. Like we played on the podcast. But I was like, bruh, she's really blowing up.
Your son is ahead of you, man. Your son is a thought leader in the space.
Of course, I'm a thought leader, bro. I'm an influencer.
I was going to make some thought leader jokes. Emphasis on the thought. Let's go. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, I think it's crazy, man. Like just to see how, like. That's how you know somebody's really popping. Like when your mom is sending you their music and it's just out of nowhere. It's like, what?
Has my mom not sent me things?
Yeah.
I don't think my mom knows I do a podcast.
Maybe we need, that's like for a therapy session. Maybe. I don't know.
Bro, what are you doing? All right, keep going, man. What are you doing?
Okay. But yeah, like that's one thing I want to say about this podcast that's also dope is we've been able to like really like highlight some of these names even before like there was any like real touch on them. So like Sophia Nzao, also shout out to her because like, you know, we played her in the podcast early on and she followed us and she was also like really fucking with the vibes and stuff like that. And it's dope, man. It's like, it's crazy. And now she's blowing up. So it's like, in a weird way, we are really part of all these different stories. You know what I mean? And it's like...
Yeah, in a very strange way.
It's dope. I like it.
That's interesting, isn't it? And hopefully we'll be part of more.
And hopefully we'll be.
And this is obviously not. This is obviously not to toot our own horn.
I'm tooting my horn a bit.
I think it's important also.
Tooting my horn a bit. Sorry.
Never mind then. Afam is tooting his horn.
Okay, so I guess briefly we can look at like some of the interesting like news. I know, guys, yes, this is a special episode, but like there's still some news that we need to cover. So interestingly, I saw a bunch of guys were out for the Jägermeister night embassy like rollout thing that they had. So it was pretty interesting to see. I saw a bunch of like some performances. I saw like they were doing like some talks and stuff. I watched the rollout video, actually really nicely shot. So it looks like they're gonna have like a bunch of like young, exciting new ambassadors for Jägermeister. You know what's funny? I'm sorry, this might be, I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but it's like when people are trying to sell stuff to you, like for example, obviously what's being sold is alcohol. But like they now employing the use of younger, more cooler individuals to sell it to a younger audience and hopefully secure buyers.
A bag that lasts for
It's like
that can be used well, and then it can also be used because when cigarettes came out, they were being sold to.
Oh, for real?
Should we? Yeah. I don't know if I should continue, but yeah, they were being sold, or rather, it was marketed to doctors and a younger audience at first, and then
it's smart. It's smart. Like even if you look at like Marvel,
it's not smart.
No, it is smart. If we're talking about marketing, it's smart because
it's a smart marketing ploy.
If you even look at Marvel and how like all the movies, in my opinion, have really deteriorated and for the worst, but if you look at if you try and explain that to like a Gen Z or even Gen Alpha, the generation after.
Is that what they're calling them now?
So, after the one after Gen Z, for them those movies are great because the focus of Marvel movies shifted from us millennials when when Tony Stark. That's not a spoiler. All of us know that he died. If you don't know he died, I don't know what you're doing with your life. But anyway,
wait, he did come back.
No.
Have they? Wait. Pause. Because I didn't really watch those movies. So when Thanos got rid of everyone, they did not come back yet.
No.
In like a new movie?
That was no. I mean that was resolved, but then I think Tony Stark, I can't remember now properly, but he died.
He died again.
No, he died. He died when he snapped the thing. When he's remember. Anyway,
wow.
I watched a long time ago. I can't remember properly. But after that whole phase of Marvel ended, like I feel like these guys started like really tailoring. Like so, if you even observe like the movies, man, they're more childish. They're more comedic. It's less about like
really? No, I'm definitely not going to watch them.
And that's because Sam, that stuff is not marketed to you and I. It's marketed to a younger audience. And because they want to secure a young audience to watch their movies for the next 10 years. But it's not really working well because I hear they want to bring back Tony Stark into like the fold. So I don't know how they're going to do that.
Like, bro is dead. Like,
I know.
You can't keep killing him
but listen,
and then bring him back to life and kill him.
Millennials have spending power right now, Sam. We have spending power and they're realizing that, listen, if we keep on...
I would argue no one has spending power.
In the broader context, millennials are the ones who have spending power at the moment. Anyway, this is a huge digression to say I see what Jägermeister are doing by targeting like young influencers. So it's not just music people. So I've seen Hiribai, Chiki, DJ Mura. Like I can see that they are like trying to like really have the younger movers and shakers in the creative spaces because it's also not just music, like I said. It's fashion and all that type of stuff, and I think that's pretty cool. So the board is apparently made up of Blinky Bill, Katungulu Mwendwa, who's a fashion designer, and Chiki Kuruka, who we know as she does dance and stuff. So yeah, man, that was pretty cool to see. Also, shout out to them for securing the bag because that's endorsement. So happy for everyone involved.
For sure. There are a couple of events based on that are coming up. Dance, there's a music one, the fashion one,
the main event on 2nd December.
2nd of,
which would be nice to attend.
That'd be cool.
Which would be nice to attend.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd be cool to see.
Cool to
that'd
see.
be cool to see all of those. I guess. Really
maybe
cool
even the music pillar, which is going to be 17th November at Bao Box and 18th November at Nairobi Street Kitchen. Yeah. But anyway, shout out to that.
Shout out.
Any other news?
Another big event, or not another news. News is, I guess we all know that the Sauti Sol, who have been running around the world singing their songs to other people, came to sing them to us for the last time. With their Soul Fest. So that was really huge. They've been very positive. Of course, there will be a positive reception because Sauti Sol have been a major part of how many years now? A major part of people's music lives.
Me, I knew them. I first heard of them in 2012, 2011.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So it's a long time and they've been doing that, and they're like one of the names that we
They're household
And
names.
it's not just about names, honestly. It's their music have. I mean, I was out yesterday and people were still playing their music for events and stuff. So they've had a place in Kenyans' hearts for a long time. So I mean, of course, it's a bittersweet watching them go, but then they really put on a show. I didn't attend. Afam, I don't think you attended. But they really put on a show. So very good reviews. They brought out a couple of people. Man, congratulations to them. Shout out to them. I've interacted with them a few times and they're genuinely very cool gentlemen. So, shout out to them, and looking forward to their solo careers.
Looking forward to their solo careers.
What they have planned. Yeah. So shout out to them. Flowers. Take your flowers, boys.
And smell the roses, man. Smell the roses.
Yep.
While you still can.
Smell
speaking, I mean, and just to even highlight their longevity, I mean, we talk about new music and they're still present because in the Spotify singles, Zinnia is doing a cover of a Sauti Sol song. So it's just, it's crazy to see how much.
I wonder how planned that was. That's very interesting.
Obviously, it was pretty planned.
Coincidental.
Pretty planned out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So new music.
Yeah.
That was Lazizi. Which was Zinnia. Zinnia did that.
I like that. I like seeing that. More covers of older Kenyan songs. Like we like to cover songs from the West, but more people should cover songs
for
that
like
were done here,
Kenyan songs.
I guess the industry is getting to that age now where because the industry is like 5 years old. Like there's not much,
Well,
so
the industry is older than that, but like I get what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, like in terms of like pop.
Yes.
Pop, current, new agey music.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there's the older guys and Zilizopendo and all that stuff. Yeah. No one is covering Zilizopendo.
Somebody should. That's a bag. So
Only
Only You by Karun, which congratulations to her again for going on Colors. They recently posted the teasers for Who's Next. So you can see two pictures and they're blurred out. I can see one of them is obviously BN. It just looks like BN. I don't know who then.
Can't miss him.
Yeah, you can't miss him. So one of them looks very much like BN. I can't tell who the other one is. But anyway, so listen, that's interesting. So can't wait to see Kenyans get 2 more colors, show whatever. That's insane. And shout out to Karun for this one. Vijana Barubaru, Watangoja Sana. And we really did wait for this song. Sorry, I'm just saying things. That came out.
Sorry.
Ben Soul and Charisma released Trust Issues. Fire.
Yeah.
I listened to How Nijui by Colossal Music and Meryl Page. Actually really enjoyed that one. And that was an enjoyable listen for me. And then I listened to, what else did I listen to? Different by Crystal Asige and Waya Tajiri. Did you listen to that one, Sam?
Yeah. I gave that a spin.
You gave that a spin. And then I listened to Feeling by Eddie V and Boutros. Mandy released, I saw 2 songs out, Bubbly Bubbly and Lele. And then what else? Nobody's Safe by Blocker and Swahili Papi. And Ville Nafa by Mevrin Obiero. That's kind of the extent of what I listened to, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too far from you. Same block by Moeezy, Triomio, and Wheezy, and
Wiz Khalifa. You did not just say Wheezy Khalifa. Oh my goodness.
No, I didn't say Wheezy Khalifa. Did I say Wheezy Khalifa?
And you're editing this podcast, so I don't know if that's gonna stay.
I hope I didn't say Wheezy Khalifa because that's kind of strange. But anyways, so that was really interesting. I'm hearing. It hit me out. It was a shock. I'm like, Wiz Khalifa. Like I didn't really expect to see that. But anyway,
that's a
maybe
big
he's
win
reaching
for
out
Trio
to the.
Mio.
Sorry.
That's a huge win for Trio Mio.
Yeah, it is. Moeezy has been on. I think Moeezy and Boutros collaborated. I want to say maybe late last year.
Yeah.
Or sometime last year.
Yes.
So it's been around.
Fire.
very familiar on Uneasy. But anyway, it's just dope, man. If you want to hear Wiz Khalifa and Trio Mio on the same song, please go give that a listen. It's called Same Block.
Nice.
Who else did I listen to? Man, honestly, it's around the same that you did. There's one I want to highlight. He's doing this. He's doing sort of the same thing that Idaziz and Sophia Nzao are doing, and that's Ness Mburu. He's been on a couple of EDM joints. So this one was also pretty interesting. This one was more EDM-y, not like Afro house, but this one's like actual it's a different genre of EDM. So I just thought that was cool. Ness Mburu. It's called Mina Nawe Tengu remix by Tengu, Nati Lu, and Ness Mburu. So that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that was that, man. There's I'm not sure if there's any other thing. Yeah,
bro,
that's cool.
Sam, I think just to commemorate this 50th episode, man, and just the history we've had. We've played Sophia Nzao is part of the class that we've played twice on this podcast. Very few people have gotten that, and now we're gonna play her for a third time this year. I think Mwaki is just iconic. It's making the rounds, and I think it's gonna be a massive, massive song. And I think it's a massive look for just Kenya. I mean, for just Kikuyu, the music. It's all opening culture. Up, and it's gonna open up that lane for all the traditional music and whatever that's just coming out of Africa, even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, here is Mwaki by Zerb and the amazing and lovely Sophia Nzao.
Anegwa modhe korawa mwaki Anyachere tati ako hike Anyana musia dia kora kara Kara without gaga. No, that be that. When I get no, that be that. Mwaki Anyachere tati ako hike Anyala mosia dia kora kara Nakera kara without gaga No, that be that When I get no, that be that
Yo, that was Mwaki by Zerb
Fire
and
joint.
Sofian Zhao. Fire
baby.
song, so catchy. So
Fire,
catchy.
baby.
Okay.
You don't know that sound. You don't know. Don't do that. You don't know that sound. Those DJs that they keep pressing. Afam. I don't like you, man.
You can put the sound effect here so that you can emphasize what you're saying.
No,
but yeah,
the song was dope.
The song was dope. Listen, guys. Oh wait. First of all, shout out to Sofian Zhao and Zerb.
Yep.
Massive win. So
Kenya
guys,
to the
listen,
world.
Kenya to the world. Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast for 50 whole episodes. Here is to us doing another 50 episodes, 100 episodes, 150 episodes. Yo, 500 episodes, Sam. Listen, we're taking this to the moon, man. To the moon and back. Actually, the moon is actually very close. We're taking this to Mars.
No. Let's start with the moon. Let's start with the moon first. So we get
We're taking this to Alpha Centauri.
What
I
are you
watch too much
talking about?
F1.
Thank you guys for listening to this podcast. Fam is getting in his nerd bag now. Talking
I'm
about
a huge nerd.
stars. That was a star, right?
Yeah, Alpha Centauri.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's the closest.
Yeah,
star
thank you for
us
listening to the
outside of the sun.
podcast. Like, subscribe, share. Long gone are the days where it was that simple. Now I have to direct people.
Yeah. Where can they like and subscribe and share?
Yes. I guess I'll do it then. So wherever podcasts are found, Anchor Music,
Such as?
Spotify, Apple
Yes.
Music, what else? Google
YouTube.
Google Podcasts, I guess. Yeah, and then you can find us on social. Sorry, I'm terrible at promo. You can find us on social media. You can find us in real life. Yes, we are two real human beings. This is not AI. Find us the 30% podcast on Instagram, 30% podcast on Twitter and Threads, which I'm still surprised is a thing. Honestly, but power to them. Honestly, the Threads came in like, oh yeah, we're about to take over the world, and
it fizzled
they're not
out,
taking
man.
over the world at all.
With a whimper.
Yeah.
I don't even go there.
Yeah, anyway, so yes. Thank you for supporting. Again, 50 episodes. If you've missed any of them, there's a lot of information in there that's really cool. The news might be outdated, but the ideas and thoughts and processes behind them are not.
And if you're a new listener, listen. Buckle up.
Welcome.
Strap in. We are about to take you on a wild ride.
Wild ride. 100. Oh my goodness.
Wild ride. Wild ride. But guys,
I don't know if I want to go on a wild ride myself.
Can't express how thankful we are. And we will catch you on the other side of 50 episodes, aka episode 51.
Episode
which might be
5.
Unsettling, spooky, and kind of foreign episode because Area 51, aliens, and all that. Anyway, we'll catch you on episode 51. Peace.
Oh man.